Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Forrest Welby here, and welcome back to another reading stream. Now, I know you guys are thinking, Forrest, you did this earlier this week. You said it was going to be next week. Yes, I did. But that's because I'm pushing it to today because of the fact that the book that I'm reading is actually taking a bit longer to try to get through. But thankfully, the book that I was going to read after this book is already finished. But the book after this one that I've read already, the one that I'm going to be reading after that one, taking a bit a long time to read. So I figured, why not just do a reading stream? And also, on top of that, this is a manga. If Heartstopper, the comic book version of Heartstopper was any indication to you, anything with any of these manga or comic, like, type books, they don't take that long to read. Because it's literally a picture book aimed at different people, whether it be for kids, teens, or mature audiences. Picture books tend to take a less amount of time to read than books like the ones that you've seen me read, besides Heartstopper. And when I say Heartstopper, I'm referring to the comic Heartstopper and over something like the Nick and Charlie book that I read immediately following that Heartstopper book. So yeah. So this book is technically rated A for all ages, which is a G rating, so to speak. But if I'm being honest with you here, I have read this all the way through before, even before I read this. This would be more of a PG rated book for me, not all ages. So maybe like a 10 plus age group, I would say, would be suitable for this. Because there's one particular scene that I don't know if it would be suitable for kids. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Without further ado, let's get started. Look at this. And I will show out, there are going to be some illustrations here, but this is one right here. That is a really cool piece of work, isn't it? I like it. That's a really cool piece of artwork. Well, technically a piece of work on its own. It's really good. And it shows us the chapters of each one. You got two parts. You have the hero, the Ocarina of Time, and then the Hero of Time. That's how it goes for them. So I won't have to try to read this. It's gonna be kind of weird because instead of doing it like instead of where we're reading it like this going this way, we gotta read it like this going this way. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, but I think we got this. So I'm gonna go ahead and move my camera a little bit more so you guys can see the book better. Alright, right here. So you guys can see it better. Alright, so our story begins on a dark and stormy night. A little baby cries in the night, and we see the intense stare of an adult. I am not sure if I'm pretty sure we know who that baby is. That is baby Zelda. But I'm guessing that is her parent, or it could be another character that we'll be introduced to shortly. But either way, they are galloping on a horse as lightning strikes across the sky. Chapter 1. The Great Deku Tree Incident. It's gonna be weird doing this way, but let's do this here. Oh yeah, by the way, I should probably put it to where live chat can be viewed. So that way I can look at the chat as I'm turning the pages, So, I'll be pointing at the words whenever they're supposed to go, right? Like how they're supposed to go right here. So basically going from up here to right here, alright? So, Hold on, let me get a better sitting position for this. Actually, I could probably... Let me see how it goes with my glasses here. Hold on a second here. Gotta put on my glasses for the first time ever. The only problem is it's that freaking light kind of messing with me there. Alright. This is a deep, deep forest that spreads over the eastern region of the Kingdom of Hyrule. The Kokiri Forest. See, the Kokiris who live here each have their own fairy. But there was one young boy who for some reason didn't have a fairy. His name is Link. I see a picture of all the Kokiri and Link's right here just sleeping. Just a sleeping. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. 'Cause I don't like missing anything. I think we're all good here. Shall I begin? Long, long ago, before the world had taken clear shape, it is said that three goddesses came down to Hyrule. One was Din. She brought fire and sculpted a red land. One was Nehru. With her wisdom, she brought law to the world. And there's Link coming in some way here. The last one was, and as the story is being told, Link suddenly bonks someone on the head. As you can see here, he bonks someone on the head and he says, "Oh, sorry, the Great Deku story is almost over. I'm in a hurry." Then comes Mido and his two friends, I guess we could say. "Hey, wait! You can't go in there." "Yeah." "Why not, Mido?" Link's not happy about this. "I can go wherever I want." Mido's one friend says, "Nuh-uh. 'Cause I'm the head of the Conquerors. We can't let a defective dwarf like you listen to the Great Deku Tree." "Yeah," says this other friend. I have no idea who that is. But they're not really that important to the story, let's be honest here. "What are you talking about? Get out of my way," yells Link. Mido, getting up in his face, says, "If you want to get in, why don't you show us your fairy?" Link has heard enough, and he starts fighting with this boy. Yeah, to put it simply, yeah, let's be real here. Mido is a bit of a pain in the butt here already. Man really gonna be like, "Oh man, that boy got a fairy. Oh, no, that's too bad." That's how they are. But in the midst of their fighting, Link sits on top of him. Apparently, Mido's in pain, yelling, "Uncle, Uncle!" But Link says, "How about that? That'll teach you to call me defective." But then suddenly, a fairy smacks him right in the face, pushing him into the water. "Woohoo, defective jerk! That's what you get for messing with Mido," says Mido's two friends. Link shouts out, Link, drenched in the water, "Cheaters! It's cheating," Mido says. "My fairy is just another part of me, like my hands and my feet." All of a sudden they hear this loud, "Hey! What's going on here?" It's the Great Deku Tree. And Mito and his friends start running away. He found us! Uh-oh! Says Mito, as they all scurry away. But before he's officially done, he says, "No fairy loser!" Doing a very, very insulting gesture to Link right there. And then they all run away, not to be seen for a while. Link not feeling very hurt about what was said. Goes listens to the great Deku Tree saying, "Cheer up, Link. Don't pay any attention to Mito." "But great Deku Tree," says Link, "why am I different from everyone else?" The great Deku Tree responds with, "You'll find out when the time is right." Link whispering to himself, "That's what you always say." Then Saria appears. "Link!" Link responds just as highly, "Saria! Great timing! I got something to show you." Link jumping down, Link says as he jumps down from the great Deku Tree. Saria asks, "What is it?" Hey! Easy! Oh, I didn't even see that comment. Thank you, YouTube, for messing with me there. Hey, Easy, how you doing? Yep, we're doing the reading of Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time manga. And as I said before, this is a book that I believe every single, and I do mean this, and I don't mean this in a joking manner. I'm being serious about it. This is a book that Link X Zelda fans would definitely love. And if you haven't read this book before, you will see why. But Easy, if you're still here, how you doing tonight, man? I haven't seen you in a while, and I hope you're doing well for yourself. Link shows up. Link pulls out his item. Ta-da! I made it myself. It's a slingshot. Saria, curious, asks, "What's it for?" "Well," said Link, "you can use it to get fruit that's too high up in the trees to reach." And he shows it off to Saria. He says, "Oh wow! Hey, let me try." Mito, catching wind of this, catching wind of Saria and Link together, says, "Ah, creep! He's fighting with Saria again." But what he didn't realize, something's coming toward him. But it's too late as it smacks him right in the face. Look at that. Smacked him right in the face. As they hear the sound, Link and Saria wonder, what was that noise? But after paying no mind to what just happened, trying to show this picture here very much, as to the best I can. You have this picture here with Link and Saria right here where my finger's at. It's amazing how you think up stuff like this. I guess I am a little strange, said Link. Maybe that's why I have to wait forever to get my fairy. Saria, being the kind friend that she is, says, "Oh, Link, even without a fairy, you're my very best friend. Okay?" Link, with a smile, says, Okay. Saria then pulls out her ocarina and says, I'll play my ocarina. We'll dance." And so as Saria plays her ocarina, Link does start to dance. And seeing a bit of a reflection, Link says, "By the way, lately I keep having the same dream. The sky is completely dark." I'm standing before a huge house with pointed towers. Saria replies, that sounds like a castle. It sounds like a castle. Lane confused. A castle? What's that? Have you seen one? Is it deep in the forest? Then to himself he thinks, why does something I don't even know about show up in my dreams? If he only knew. But then, so let's see who's. So I'm gonna assume that's Saria saying this whole bit here. Saria look as Lincoln Saria look over to the sunset. Saria says, "The great Deku Tree said it's something far away from the Kokiri Forest, across a great plain. He said the world is wide, with lots of different countries." And Link, staring in awe of the beautiful scene before him, "The world?" he says. And then he thinks to himself, I wonder what the rest of the world is like. I wonder what's out there. All those things I've never seen. And now the sky has turned from sun to evening to night. As Link says, as the text says, meanwhile, strange black clouds were gathering over the forest, but Link could not yet see them. Later that night, now we go to the shot of the treehouse that Link lives in. And he thinks to himself, if I told the great Deku Tree that I want to leave the forest, I wonder if he'd let me go. Probably, as he drifts off to sleep, he thinks, probably not. And then he just goes to sleep. In the night sky, there's an evil laughter abound. An evil laughter, I don't even need to say the words. You can tell it's an evil laughter. And we see the eye of a of a of a creature. If you played Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, because this is based on the video game, sort of, kind of, there's some parts in this book that are not in the game, and there are some parts of the game that are not in the manga. But if you played the game, you would know exactly who that eye belongs to. And if you don't, you'll be hearing the name soon enough anyway. But the Great Deku Tree, what was that just now? Okay. The Great Deku Tree, hearing this evil laughter, says, who goes there? No evil may enter my forest. Now he's pulling a Gandalf. You will not pass! Sorry, I had to make that reference. I had to make that reference. Come on, dude. Come on. But the creature not having it suddenly just makes their eye go wide and then just jumps into the air and latches onto the great Deku Tree and burrows inside him, saying, how sad for you that trees cannot move. And as he feels the pain, and the great Deku Tree feels the pain as this spider-like creature goes burrowing deeper and deeper into him, and then he is no more. Navi, this little fairy right here, you can't really see it, but this fairy right here peeks out over and says, Great Deku Tree? Great Deku Tree, hang in there! So, losing his strength, the great Deku Tree says, Navi, an evil thing inside me. I can't move at all. I can't move at all. Navi asks to him, Great Decker Tree, what should I do? Trying to make sure you guys can see the pictures. As you look at the inside of the Great Decker Tree with this spider-like creature, the Decker Tree... Wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hey, Forrest, you gotta turn the page, ding dong. Turn the page, man. There we go. Now we're on the same page here. The Great Decker Tree, still losing his energy, says, The forest. Danger. The boy without a fairy. So we see a shot of Link. Bring him to me. Go, Navi! And Navi goes and flies into the air. And, and, and as she flies by him, we see a shot of a certain character. It's Mito with a kokiri saw saying, quote, saying, With this, I'm gonna make a hole next to Link's bed. When he gets up in the morning, Mito with the image in his head thinks of how Link will walk out from his house and then suddenly fall down the hole, and he laughs about it. He really doesn't like Link. So then Mito climbs up the ladder and starts making the hole. And as he's still doing it, Navi tries to wake up Link, as you can see there. But because Link won't get off his lazy bum and wake up, Navi goes right to him and yells, Wake up, Link! Wake up! And that wakes him up. That woke him up. And then, as if just pulling it together, Navi says, I'm Navi, introducing herself. The Great Decker Tree sent me. Link, just surprised to see a fairy in front of him, thinks, a fairy? Yeah. Yahoo! All excited, this boy. Look at that. He's very excited. I finally got a fairy! Navi, feeling very uncomfortable with the way this boy's attitude changed. Don't touch me! And Link, feeling so excited, happens to be walking right into Mito's trap as he says, Alright, I'm gonna go brand a Mito. I'm gonna go brand a Mito. Navi saying, There's no time for that. But Mito's hole is already made. And Link just falls right through it, right on top of Mito. That almost hurt my leg. Link, just surprised to see Mito to begin with, says, Huh? Mito? What are you doing here? Mito responded, What's it to you? But then Mito notices something. Link does too, saying, The plants are wilting. That tree's too, replies Mito. Right here, replies Mito. I've never seen anything like this before. Navi, knowing what's going on, says, Something evil has come into the forest. The great Deku Tree is in trouble. Link, you gotta hurry! And Link and Mito look at her, uh, in shock. As we see a shot of the great... So yeah, there's Link and Mito looking shocked about what Navi just said. Then we see a shot of the great Deku Tree, and then a shot of this creature inside of him, laughing, looking very, very... What would be the proper word for that? What would be the proper word for somebody that's looking like that? I guess stealthily or something? I don't know. But before we go into chapter 2, here's an illustration right there. Look at that illustration. It says up here, rough sketches. It says rough sketches Himekawa Sensei drew before the series, and this is what they drew. That's actually pretty good artwork, if I do say so. That's pretty good drawing work, if I do say so myself. Chapter 2. The Link's journey begins. Link and Mito arrive to the side of the great Deku Tree, shouting his name. I don't think I need to say what they said if I just said they're shouting his name. Link with tears in his Link with just about a burst into tears. Great Deku Tree, what happened? Please answer! Mito looking very observant for this one time. Yeah, let me show you guys a little bit more of that. There you go. As Link starts... What should we say that? What should we describe that as? As Link... I'm guessing he's trying to wake the great Deku Tree up by hitting him. As if that's going to do anything, really. Mito says, he's cold. Like he's dead. Then they hear a voice. Mito? Link? It's Saria. And Link hears this laugh. And then all of a sudden a freaking eye pops up. Just pops up and scares this little boy. Because of course it would. This is the parasitic armored arachnid Queen Goma. Yes, if you guys didn't, she is actually the first person, she is the first boss of the game. You would actually face her in the game. A good majority of these characters are considered boss characters in some way in the story. Like Goma is a boss character. You do actually have to go inside the Great Deku Tree. It even says inside the Great Deku Tree. And you have to do this big, it's like a dungeon kind of deal with him. Somehow it does the same thing with a certain other place that we'll talk about when we get to it. But the whole point is you go inside the Great Deku Tree to find what it is that has caused the Great Deku Tree to feel very weak. Like what's actively hurting him. So Link goes into the Great Deku Tree. You do all sorts of puzzles and things. And then when you finally reach Queen Goma and you defeat her, that you can tell after getting the piece of heart, not a whole heart container. Link gets teleport outside right in front of the Great Deku Tree, who tells him that he did a good job, but because of how long he has been inside him, how long Goma was inside of him, the damage was already done and he was going to die regardless, even after Link defeated Goma, because like I said, the damage was too great. So let's see how it plays out in this book. So there it is, parasitic, uh, armored arachnid Queen Goma. That is Goma right there. Navi. Well, let's put it to you this way. Link is in shock, but Mito is terrified. But Link, in shock, hears Navi saying, "This is it, Link. This is the thing that cursed the great Deku Tree." Stone, says Goma. Yay! Good number of people jump in terror. Give me, give me the stone. Says Goma. Where is the stone? And the great Deku and the great and Goma goes back inside as the inside of the great Deku tree opens up. Mito and his friends are terrified, but Link is feeling brave. That's how it goes for him. Hold on, yep. Alright. Let's see how that goes for him, shall we? Link runs. Link gets his Link gets his slingshot. Saria wonders where he's going, saying, "Link, I'm going to, I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna get that thing," yells Link as he runs toward the great Deku tree. Mito, not wanting to get upstaged by Link. "Wait, I'm going too. Look here," says Mito, holding up a sword. "The legendary Kokiri sword!" And so Link and Mito climb into the great Deku tree. As they are walking, as you can see here, as you can walking, Link says, "Don't get too excited, Mito." Mito responds, "Shut up! I will let you show off for Soria all by yourself." And the two of them, this is what they look like as they're busy walking. But Link, now hearing what he's talking about, wonder what Mito is talking about, says, "What are you talking about?" "I know you. I will let you have her," says Mito, angrily at Link with that kind of face. Look at that. "Ah! What's all this? Go! Hey! Coming out, you monster!" But Navi stops him, and she says, "I hear something strange." And it's the sound of munching and chomping. Oh, that's not gonna be good. Then they hear the sound. Then they hear the very same voice of Goma. "The stone. Where's the stone?" Link, horrifyingly asks, "Is it eating the great Deku tree?" And then we see a shot of Goma basically eating the great Deku tree. But Goma, hearing this, says, "Shall I take a bite out of you two as well?" And the two of them jump back with Mito Right here. Right here where my fingers are, right here. With Mito screaming in terror. Link starts to try to use his his slingshot, or fairy bow as they're calling it for whatever reason. But he keeps on he's about to use his fairy bow slash slingshot, and he yelling angrily, "Return the Great Deku Tree back to normal!" He tries to make the shots, but they just don't work. But Magoma, not fazed by any of this, says, "Give me the stone. Where's the stone?" Link's running away from him, running from Goma. "It's no use! What stone is it talking about?" he also thinks. But Mino, however, not moving, stands and just stands still in terror, in fright. Navi, noticing this, tells Link, "Link! Mino is..." Link turns around, and he saves Mino from any harm that may have come to him, that was about to come to him. Link scolds him. "That was close! Don't freeze up!" Mino responds just as angrily, "Shut up! Leave me alone!" But after that little war of words, Link gets bumped in the head by something. It's ouch! And it's Goma. There's Goma still. Link uses the slingshot and says, "One Link." Link then tries to go for one more shot, as he even says so right here. One more shot. But Goma glares at him, paralyzing him. It's kind of like that move from Pokemon, where I think it's also the move known as Glare, where the opponent is paralyzed from that. I could be wrong about that though. Link trying to move but can't. Basically says, "I can't move." Mm. Well, Link groans and says, "Darn monster! Don't come any closer!" Trying to show you guys where I'm pointing at so you guys can see it. But Link stares at it, thinking, "Great Deku Tree!" But then somebody throws a rock at this thing. Mean Goma turns around to see Mito has thrown the rock, saying, "Blast! Link's attacking, but so am I." Link caught completely by surprise. Link caught completely by surprise. I'm trying to find it, making sure you guys can see it. Link caught completely by surprise. Is Mito? Wait, what? Man, these are kind of small pictures, I'm telling you. Some of these pictures are kind of small, jeez. Okay. He misses again. He misses the target with Navi saying, Navi, man, with Navi saying, "Where are you aiming? Sheesh." Moving out of the way of the shot and says, "You missed." But then one of those rock throws hits Goma right in the eye, and and he and he and he just yells out and she yells out in pain because it's a queen, not a Clinton force. Quit saying he. Stop it. Navi, noticing this, flies over to Link immediately and says, "Link, Goma's weakness is her eyeball. Aim for her eye." Link, heeding Navi's advice, aims the slingshot and fires, and it hits Goma right in the eye. Still feeling the pain. But not able to withstand the pain any longer. Goma just melts away. As you can see here. Just melts away into nothingness, pretty much. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that, because she just reverts back to her former self. Ling, noticing this, says, "So that's what Goma really looks like." Mina just as surprised. Just a tiny bug. They go outside. They go outside to the great Decker Tree, telling them that they have defeated Goma, as seen here. They saying, Great Decker Tree, we defeated Goma." The Great Decker Tree, proud of them, says, good job, Link. And you too, Mito. You com- your combined strength broke the curse. So obviously in the game, Mito doesn't help us at all. He just goes sulking around because of course he does. But my life cannot be saved. Not happy with this result. "What?" yells Link in surprise. "Why? That can't be! Don't die, Great Decker Tree! I fought so hard! This can't be happening!" Link taking it very hard, but the Great Decker Tree tells him to listen. Link, listen closely. While Goma was eating me, I could read her. While Goma was eating me, I could read her thoughts. She too had been. She too had been cursed. The one, the one in control of this horrible evil power, is king of the people of the Black Desert. He plots to capture the Triforce and rule over Hyrule. If you know who that is, if you played Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, even if you haven't finished it, you likely know who that is. Because he's been in a number of Zelda games since, well, this version of him has, I should say. Because if you played Legend of Ocarina of Time, you know what happens with this man. Got it. wet my hand because I don't want to touch these pages with any kind of liquid on my hands. Link, with tears still in his eyes, wonders about the Triforce. The Triforce has held the power of the gods since ancient times. Whoever touches it has the power to remake the world in the image of his own heart. If a pure heart touches it, the world will be good. If an evil heart, yeah, right here. If an evil heart touch, if an evil heart touches it, the world will be consumed by evil. An awful danger is coming to Hyrule. We cannot let the evil one touch the Triforce. If you have courage, you can defeat his plans. Why me? Link says. I don't. I can't fight any against something so scary. Yes, you can, says the Great Deku Tree. Learn about the outside world and grow big, Link. Link taking making this face. I don't know how I could describe it, but he is taking what he's saying, that's for sure. Listen listen closely. Go to Hyrule Castle. Give her this. There is a princess there who has been chosen by the gods. Give her this stone. This is the stone that the evil one wanted so badly that he would put a curse on me, the Kokiri's Emerald. And then we see a picture of the Kokiri Emerald slowly going down towards Link's hand. I cannot speak. The Great Deku Tree looking down at Link. I'm counting on you, Link, he says. I believe in you. I understand, says Link. Thank you, Great Deku Tree. You must make a shield from my remains. It will protect you from all manner of evil. Navi flies up to the Great Deku Tree then. Great Deku Tree! Navi, help Link, he says, without. And then with his final words, he says, Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. And then he slowly passes on, with the Kokiri shouting for him. But then they all mourn his loss as he has passed on. Link, taking heed of what the Great Deku Tree has borrows Mito's sword, so he can craft a shield. Mito looks at him. Mito looks on as he does this, with Link saying, "All right, it's done." And he stands with his sword and shield in hand. Let's go, Link, says Navi. Okay, Navi, says Link in response. Go? Where are you going? We Cockeries can't live outside the forest, says Mito. Link's response. I want to see the outside world, Mito. To see how big it is and what's out there. With my own eyes. Mito, feeling emotional about this, says, feels emotional about this. Link saying, I'll be back after I deliver the Kokiri's emerald. But with but Mito just tearfully tells him, just, just take the sword. We can see Link saying, thanks for lending it to me. You can actually see him say it right there. Thanks for lending it to me right there. Mito, very emotional, says, get out of here and don't ever come back. Link, emotional, runs, just starts to run without another look back. With Mito shouting after him, you hear me? Don't come back, you big jerk! Link still runs, but as he is approaching the bridge, he is stopped by Saria, as she says, so, you're leaving? Link turns around. Saria? And Saria looks right at him. Link then tells her, I've always thought I'm different from everyone else. Like I'm from somewhere. Like I'm from somewhere. Saria, surprised by this. Huh? But, reassures Link, the forest is my home. Yeah, says Saria with a smile. But she hands him her ocarina, saying, take this, please, take my ocarina. It's a gift. Play it sometimes and remember the forest. As they stand together on the bridge, the memories of the two of them having fun as she sings the ocarina and he dances comes to mind. Link, with a smile on his face, then turns to run into the world, the vast world of Hyrule. But as he does, we see an owl silhouette as it flies away. Ooh-hoo! It looks like the boy's great adventure has finally begun. The fate of the land of Hyrule rests in the hands of the one young boy. I wonder if he's up to the task. In honor of the great Deku Tree, I will guide and protect Link. And there is the bird in question. It looks a bit different compared to, what he looks like in the game, but, who really cares? Nobody really cares about that character anyway. And here's another rough sketch before the series began. Look at that. That's a picture of Link and Epona on Epona, riding Epona. That is really cool. So many good illustrations here. So what I'll be doing here, in case anybody's wondering, is I'll be doing this in 2 parts like I did before. They do have a bonus story, but I'm not sure if I want to read it or not. I am not sure. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'll probably make it to where after we read the main story, I'll go back to read the side stories in a separate part of its own, because they are pretty good. I do think they're pretty good in their own right. That they deserve to be given a video of their own for that. So that's what I'll probably do. I'll probably do it to where I'll read the main story first, and then I'll do the side story afterward, like in its own separate part. But moving on. Chapter 3. The Mystery of the Triforce. We next see Link on a horse carriage, with him in awe, saying, "It's so big! It's good we ran into this carriage, isn't it, Link?" But Link, feeling very dehydrated, "I was dying of thirst," as the carriage rattles on. Did you say the person? But then, as Link drinks some milk, he talks to Navi. "Did you say the person at the castle we have to meet is called Princess Zelda?" Talking about this one right here. The reason why I'm pointing my finger at it is so that way you guys know where I'm looking at as I'm telling this story. So if you guys are kind of confused, my finger right here will tell you where I'm at. And since I'm right here with Link asking the question, and Navi responds, "Yes, we must give her the Kokiri's emerald. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up." Talon looks back and says, "Hey, we're here! The castle town!" And next we see the drawbridge go down, and Link is very excited. But then his excitement turns into awe again as he sees the whole town. And he says, "Wow, so many people! This is the world? What a building! Navi, which one's the castle?" asks Link. Navi isn't quite too sure of where the castle's at. But as he looks, a food vendor looks at him and says, "Welcome, it's cheap. You'll be sorry if you don't stop and look. Don't stop and look." And Link, very hungrily, "Ah! Food!" he says excitedly. "All that traveling. I'm so hungry. I can barely move," says right here, says Link. But, but Link starts to eat some food. Mmm, good. It's 100 times better than the fruit in the forest. But then he feels a presence as the food vendors surround this boy. Hey, you got money for all that? Hey, hey kid, you got money for all that, right? Water? Water? Link with his mouth full. What's that? Impudent brat! Thief! Hmm? 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 Who's even saying that? Must be some random guy right here saying, huh? What have we here? He says, noticing the Kokiri Emerald. Ah! Give it back! Give it back! Pay for your meal and you can have it back. Wait! But then a little girl shows up. I'll pay for him. Give back the stone. So, what the heck is he doing? Okay, so you got the little girl walking up to them. The little girl walks up to them as as this man still got the Kokiri Emerald. Then they say, 200 rupees! Distracted, Zelda grabs Link by the wrist and runs away. But Link curiously asks, who are you? This mysterious girl, you probably know who it is by now, but this mysterious girl says, it doesn't matter. Hurry! I'm looking forward to when we get to this one particular part. Because I know this part that I'm looking forward to showing you guys. Because I know, like I said before, I know some people that are fans of this Link X Zelda. And if they're here when this one scene happens, I'm pretty sure they're going to be tripping. Unless they don't want to be spoiled, in which case that's up to them. But now that they are away from the angry mob, Link tells a story off screen. But this mysterious girl says, so you're from the forest, eh? Yeah. And Navi says, phew, thanks. This is really important. It's a pretty stone, says this mysterious girl. It's the Kokiri's emerald. The great Deku Tree told me to give it to Princess Zelda. This mysterious girl reacts to that. This mysterious girl reacts to this. But still keeping it together, the mysterious girl says, really? Link looks at her. That's why I have to go to the castle. But I doubt you can get into the castle all by yourself, says the girl. The guards are pretty strict. Huh? Says Link. What should we do, Navi? Link asks off screen. But this mysterious girl has an idea. And she tells Link, I'll make you a deal. You play with me today, and if you do, I'll take you to see Princess Zelda. Really? Says Link excitedly. She's a great friend of mine. Here, I'll prove it, she says the mysterious girl says with a wink. An ocarina? That mark. Link notices this mark of this ocarina right here. And she shows it to him. She says, uh-oh. Because she feels like he is about to know who she is. Or it could be because she notices this woman. Young boy, says the woman. Have you seen a noble girl around here? She has blonde hair and blue eyes. Ling, Ling, a bit embarrassed, I guess, or just scared or whatever, stammers, "No, ma'am." And so Impa leaves, and this mysterious girl with that face right, look at that face right there, says thanks with that smile. Look at that smile. What the heck kind of smile is that supposed to be? Goes up to Link. Hey Link, are you sure about this? There's something strange about that girl. But Link whispers back, "But she says she can take us to Princess Zelda." But not but without wasting another second, the mysterious girl again pulls at Link's wrist and says, "Okay, let's go! That shop over there looks interesting." And Link's probably wondering what he's gotten himself into. Well, actually, it should be where that should have been first, and then he says this. Then we go back over here. Well, she is really cute. She gets, she gets, she gives something here, or somebody gives her something. Says thanks. Nami says, "You're, you're sweet on her," says Nami. And then we see Zelda with a freaking bag full of food, saying, "I bought a bunch." Link, very surprised, jumps out of it. Now it does show these are Manju, and it says right here, literally right there, Manju are small canes filled with sweet bean paste. Then I wouldn't eat it because I don't like beans. I don't really care for beans that much. Hmm. Alright. But that Zelda says, blushing, "I got extra because the shopkeeper said I was cute," says with a smile. Bomb, Bombchu bowling? What's that? She says, noticing this sign right here. Lynn says, I don't know either." And then they go into play. You guys don't know what bomb two bowling is. For what it is it's a bit of a game where you would have to try to have the bomb shoe reach the middle of of a circle or something, and you have to do it 3 separate times. And each time you get into that middle, and you go to the next one, it's more difficult than the last one. So you have to try to be very careful with the bomb shoes because I don't remember. If I remember right, there's like a limited quantity of them you could use in the game, in the bowling game, before you are done, and you have to try it over again. And I believe each time you get past the things there, they give you a certain prize with the last one that you gotta pass. If you get it through that one and you succeed in it, you would get a heart piece from it. And that's what I remember being the case, if I remember correctly. But yeah. In any event, moving on. But anyway, moving on. As the bomb shoe blows up or explodes, "Yay! This is fun!" says Zelda. Link, still wanting to talk about Zelda, says, hey, what's Princess Zelda like? Is she pretty? Yeah, I guess, says the mysterious girl as she is set to aim the bomb chew. Link then says, nah, I bet she's really ugly. And Zelda, you already knew it was Zelda, fuck it. But this little boy don't know it. But the little girl then just has the bomb chew move right over to Link and basically blows him up. Like, lets it explode on him. But the shopkeeper says, play again? It says, that's okay, you don't have to. And then we have a bit of a montage. Here. As Link and the mysterious girl go around town, having their fun. Suddenly, it turns nighttime. That was fun, they say, opening the door. And as the door is open, they realize it's nighttime. Is it night already? Time really flies. But the mysterious girl stands in silence. The day is over. Thanks for today, she says with taking the bunny hood off. I wanted to see what it was like, even just once, to go shopping and pay and by myself and play. Then she looks into her reflection. And as she looks into the reflection, she thinks, just like a normal girl. Link steps up. Your name. Tell me your name. I'm Link. But without letting her answer the question, he says, let's play again sometime. And she makes this face, the shocked expression on her face. Okay then. But then, as she's about to introduce herself, all of a sudden, a group of bandits show up. And they whoosh right into action. As Link says, who are you guys? Girl, we know who you are. Give us the Ocarina of Time. They say this, completely ignoring Link. Zelda, not feel Zelda realizing the seriousness of the situation, runs away. Runs away from this moment. But yet one bandit still very persistent yells, "You can't escape!" But Link stops this thief dead in their tracks. And he stands in front of her, ready to protect her when need be. Huh, who are you? Someone's. Who are you? Says one thief. But another notices something, hears something. Shh! Someone's coming! And they run away. But Link wanted to chase that, wondering what's going on. Not realizing what's going on. Wait! And in the shadow, you see, and in the shadow approaches a person. Link turns and smiles. Says, Impa. Yep, it is Impa. And she says, let me try to get this to where I can read it. You guys can see it. I'm glad you're safe. Then come back to the castle. Link look. Zelda, this little girl looks, closes her eyes with tears, and says, okay. And as Impa holds on to Zelda, all of a sudden they disappear. Huh? She she's gone, says Link. She probably just went home. Girls can be trouble, says Navi. But Link notices something on the ground. It's the ocarina that Zelda had. He even says, this is hers. She showed me earlier. Well, he doesn't say it, but he thinks it. She showed me earlier. But then thinks some more. It sort of looks like the ocarina Saria gave me. But it's different. And as he thinks about this, the sun slowly rises up. Hold on 1 second. Just wiping my hand dry. It's another morning. And here's a shot of Hyrule Castle. But but not all is well. Father! Father, please! Don't meet with that man! Please! Is this about your dream again? Ridiculous. We live in a time of peace. The king, not wanting to hear another word, walks away. And Zelda feels very worried about what's to come. Meanwhile, Link is climbing up on the castle wall, which is something that you don't even do in the game. Yeah, in the game, and I'm going to say this, in the game, you don't climb up the castle wall. What you have to do is you have to go to this path that leads up to the castle. And even then, you got to hide, but you gotta hide from the guards. And if they catch you, they will send you back to the beginning of the area that you're in. So, like, if you were before you went into the castle grounds, they would throw you out into the, like, away from the, like, right at the starting position of before you go into the castle grounds. Whereas if I don't know if they do this in the castle grounds as well, but but I remember correctly, if I do, what they do is when you're in the castle, on the castle grounds and they catch you, they send you back to the beginning of the castle grounds instead of where, like, in, before you go into the castle, like, going into where you gotta go to get into the castle grounds. But if you survive, if you're able to get past the guards doing that, then you would meet Princess Zelda. In this one, he's just climbing a wall and trying to sneak around to the best of his ability. That's what he's doing here. See? Climbs the wall, sneaks around, peeks around the corner, as there's a guard right there waiting for him to move. And then once it's all clear, he runs for it. And then he suddenly approaches an area. And he takes a closer, and as we see the closer shot of his foot, he notices something. Uh, um. But then the little girl starts to speak. Link, I still haven't told you my name, have I? He says in shock. And the mysterious girl turns around to face him. She introduces herself. I am Zelda, Princess of Hyrule. Link, bl- blushing at the sight of her young beauty. I guess I could say it like that, make it less awkward, but still. But Navi, realizing this, snaps him back to reality. Link! Oh, right! He rustles into his pocket and hands out the. He rustles into his pocket to give her the Kokiri Emerald. But then. But then he also gives her. He also holds out the Ocarina. And this. You dropped it yesterday. I thought maybe. And she takes it. And as she takes it with a smile, he says to her, Wow, what a surprise! You should have told me. And she gives him this look. I can't even describe it, just look at that look on her face and she gives it to him. But we see the face of a mysterious man. Greetings, Princess Zelda, says the man. I have just met with your father. Lord Ganondorf, says Zelda. Entering this courtyard without permission is an insult. My apologies, said Ganondorf. Cementing relations between my people and Hyrule is an honor. This is a land filled with beauty, and you, princess, are the most beautiful thing of all. Save your flattery, she says, very angrily, and leave my sight. Link, with this face, and Ganondorf bows to her still. It is sad, princess, that you possess the Ocarina. It is said, princess, that you possess the Ocarina of Time, the greatest treasure of the Hyrulean royal family. I wonder if you might show it to me sometime. Zelda, not willing to give it up, not giving it up willingly. I don't know anything about it, but it's odd. A gang of thugs asked me the same thing yesterday. They wouldn't happen to be acquaintances of yours? And Link stares daggers at this man. Look at that stare. It's both serious but also kind of funny. I can't help it. It's both serious but also kind of funny. Trying to make sure I know where I'm going for this story. Okay, right there. But then Ganondorf looks at this boy, who looks back at him, and he's shocked. Look at that shocked expression. But the boy is still staring defiantly at him. But he leaves. And as he leaves, Zelda says, That was Ganondorf, the leader of the Gerudo, who live in the western desert. Swearing, what the heck? He's swearing fealty to my father now, but his real goal is to acquire the Triforce of my country's sacred realm. Triforce? Link says, thinking, is he the one that the Great Dicketry warned me about? Right here. Yep. But as Link sits down, Zelda tells him a story. I had a dream. A horrible dream in which the Hyrule was covered by a dark black cloud. But then a ray of light broke through, shining down on the land, revealing a figure accompanied by a fairy and bearing a shining green stone. Link then thinks about this. A fairy, a stone, and he points to himself, wondering if she's talking about him. But she still speaks. The first time I saw you, I knew. You are the one in my dream. I'm scared. Without a doubt, Ganondorf is the dark cloud I saw. His black heart will destroy Hyrule. I can feel it. But father won't believe me, she says, looking dejected. Link, Link then, I guess, partly trying to help her feel better. I believe you. His evil power killed the great Deku Tree, which it did. We can't let him have the Triforce, she says with a determined look on her face. Where is the Triforce? Where's the Sacred Realm? Link asks. The entrance to the Sacred Realm is in the Temple of Time, but the door is sealed fast by a wall of stone. It is said that in order to open it, you must gather 3 spiritual stones and bring them to the temple. But you need one more thing. A treasure of the royal family. This, the Ocarina of Time, she says, holding it out to him. I'll do it, he says. Link says with with an adamant look on his face. I'll find the other 2 spiritual stones. Princess Zelda, please. But Link, actually, let me rephrase that. Zelda, surprised, says, Link? Princess Zelda, please keep the ocarina. I'm going to find the other 2 stones and then return. Yes, Link, she says with a smile on her face. You must keep the Triforce out of Ganondorf's hands. And we see the evil look on this man's face. Let's see here. Yes, I believe there are only 6 chapters in part 1. I'm just making sure. Yeah, there are 6 chapters in part 1, and there are 8 chapters in part 2. Alright, so, as we start the 4th of 6 chapters, we are told a tale. Long, long ago, before there was any life on land or in the sea, the 3 golden goddesses came down to the chaotic land of Hyrule. Chapter 4, The Search for the Spiritual Stone of Fire. Let me get a drink of tea real quick. Give me 1 second. Alright. Let's do this. Din, the goddess of power, whose strength lay in fire, which she used to forge the red earth. Nehru, the goddess of wisdom, who bathed the land in her wisdom and brought order out of chaos. and Faror, the goddess of courage, who protected that order and from her great heart brought life to the world. When these tasks were completed, and it was time for the three goddesses to return to heaven, they left behind a golden pyramid, the Triforce, and the surrounding land became the sacred realm. Legend says that the Triforce will grant the wishes of anyone who holds it, so to protect it from those with evil hearts. Ancient sages built a temple and sealed the entrance with the door of time. He who gathers the three spiritual stones must stand in this spot with the Ocarina of Time and play the Song of Time. If he does, the door will open. This is the secret of the sacred realm passed down from generation to generation in the Hylian royal family. My mother told me before she died. She said never to speak of it to anyone, or about the Ocarina either. But Link, are you sure you should be telling me something so important, Zelda? You believe my tale. Even my father didn't believe me. Okay, how am I gonna do this? Oh, this will be fun. Alright. This will be a lot of fun trying to do here. And and I'm very hard trying to keep this bit from being shown here. Because I want it to be a secret. This is the big Link X Zelda moment right here. The biggest one thus far, and I don't want to show it off until we get to that. And Zelda looks at Link and says, "That's why I believe in you." Link, hold on, let me see if I can show it to you better. Link blushes at these words, his heart thumping, and says, "I didn't do anything special. I didn't do anything special." He says, scratching his head in embarrassment. Then then he hears a noise. Impa had showed up, scaring Link again. And as Zelda says, "This is Impa. She's a Sheikah. She's my bodyguard. Impa, this is the messenger from the forest I saw in my dream." Impa informs Link, "It's my job to protect Zelda. I was watching you all day yesterday, including your battle with the bandits." Link blushes at this, I am guessing, and she says, "You are worthy of carrying the princess's secret. A young man with great courage." Impa, you see everything, don't you? "Do you have any idea where the other stones might be?" he says. Now comes the fun part. Now I'm really gonna have to hide this. We're getting into the big one. We're getting close to the big moment here. I'm trying to find a way to hide this here. Actually, I think I already had a way to do it. Hmm. Impa, after being asked if she knows where the spiritual stones were, says, I don't know where the spiritual stone of water is, but I've heard that Darunia, the leader of the Gorons, has the spiritual stone of fire. Got it! Link, wait! Zelda says before he leaves. He looks at her. Don't worry, Princess Zelda. I'll find the stones before Ganondorf does. I swear it. Link Zelda looks into his eyes. And says, and I'll be sure that Ganondorf doesn't take this ocarina. She then says, be careful, okay? And kisses Link on the cheek. Okay, can we just point the elephant out in the room and just say that that never happened in the game? I'm going to be the party pooper here and say, as much as so many people would probably have wanted to see this kind of thing happening, it doesn't happen in the game. Not even close. Not even a hug in this situation. It's just the two of them, well, Zelda really talking, and then Impa shows up after she tells the tale, and then we go to and then we go into Hyrule Field. That's pretty much what we do. And then she points us toward Death Mountain, which is where we go from the Spiritual Stone of Fire. And also on top of that, what Impa says about the the Spiritual Stone of Water, as well as telling us where the Sacred Stone of Fire is. She doesn't tell us about the Water Stone, the Sacred Stone of Water, but she does tell us about the Sacred Stone of Fire where it's at. But yeah, big thing here. That that kiss on the cheek, sadly, doesn't happen in the game. The closest thing that I know of that, like, they don't even, like, like, even that whole bit with her going into Hyrule, in the castle town, that whole story doesn't happen whatsoever. Although I will say, another little girl in there, I believe it, Malin, she shows up, by that fountain in the middle of this town, but that's about it. As far as this moment goes, but as far as that moment goes, yeah, just be happy they did something with Link and Zelda in the manga, compared to the game. Because the manga can do all kinds of certain things. A video game from 1998 didn't really have the capabilities of what games of today have. Now, maybe we could have seen something between Link and Zelda, like her kissing him on the cheek for good luck. Maybe we could have seen it nowadays if they were to have done a reimagining of Ocarina of Time. But if there's one thing here that kind of surprises me, is how they don't have Saria giving Link a hug before they leave, before he leaves, in the manga, like she doesn't do in the games. And I remember somebody was talking about that, how people were thinking like she should have given him a hug or a kiss or something. And he even goes into good detail about it. The reason why things like that wouldn't happen, for the good part of games back in the day, was because of hardware limitations. There were a lot of things that the game developers had to deal with. Least of all being the fact that they had to use, this was literally their Ocarina of Time was literally their very, very first 3D Zelda game. So, just like with the first 3D Mario game, while they did know a bit more about the Nintendo 64 capabilities compared to Mario 64's development, at the same time, they still didn't really have too much to work with in regard to that. Because, again, hardware limitations of the Nintendo 64 tended to prevent people from, game developers from, doing things with it that they probably would have done if or wanted to have done, but they may or may not have been able to do on something like the PlayStation if it wasn't a Nintendo exclusive game. But that's beside the point. The fact of the matter is, the reason why we don't see any kind of movement going on between characters in the Ocarina of Time compared to Majora's Mask is because, again, hardware limitations. And compare 1998 to 2000. In 1998, they were just some years past the release of the Nintendo 64, whereas by 2000, they had a much better understanding of the Nintendo 64's hardware limitations. And also on that note, if you played Majora's Mask, you'd notice that they reuse so many things from Ocarina of Time that it's not even funny. But they do add some new things. Looking at the moon when I say that, because that moon obviously was not there in Ocarina of Time. But it was a good part of many childhood nightmares. That moon, I'm telling you. Anyway, so she tells him to be careful, and she kisses him on the cheek for luck, and Link reacts accordingly, falling head over heels for what just happened, and then all of a sudden he decides to be all Sonic. It's just blindly runs away, runs into whatever. Okay. And after this, Link made such a commotion. This picture is what's said in this picture. But he made such a commotion that Impa and Zelda just stare for a little bit before Impa just grabs Link by the collar. And Link, still feeling the effects of that kiss on the cheek, says, as the guard says, Lady Impa? Impa says, don't worry about him. I'll escort him out. And she just thrusts him out of the window, but she doesn't let go of him. But he does scream as he looks down. He screams in terror. But she shows him to this mountain right over here with the thing right over the top of it. That's Death Mountain, where the Gorons live. We must protect this beautiful land of Hyrule, she says as Link looks on toward the mountain. But she also says, did you say that your name was Link? The peace of the land dis- depended on you, depends on your courage. We are counting on you. And Link with that fierce determination on his face. Leave it to me, ma'am, he says. And he just jumps out the window. And she angrily says, ma'am? Like, what? A boy can't be respectful to his elders by calling you ma'am? I'm gonna assume there's something wrong with that. Let's go, Nami! Link says, "To Death Mountain!" And as he rushes off to Death Mountain, Zelda looks out the window, praying for his safe return. And Impa just smiles at something. "I wonder what Sonya would say if I told her we were going to save Hyrule," he says. Sorry. I just knew that was coming, and I just wanted to deal with it real quick. Navi, meanwhile, is trying to say something, but then he says, "Hmm? What did you just say?" With an embarrassed look, with a blushing look on his face. Navi bonks him on the head. "For shame! Your head is full of Princess Zelda. Did you forget about Saria?" "No, I never." And then he holds out the ocarina she gave him. "Saria." He remembers back to what she said. "Play it sometimes and remember the forest." I wonder what everyone back in Kokiri Forest is doing, as he even thinks about Mido and his little cronies. Then he plays the ocarina. Apparently it's Epona's song, or just the fact that, or just a song in general as as the mysterious horse hears it, which I kind of just pulled out is named Epona. But still, a horse hears it and walks up to him and decides to play along with him as he sings the song. Where'd you come from? You like this ocarina?" he says. The horse whinnies. And he still sings the song. But as he does, the horse suddenly just claps in excitement. And he says, "You're fast! This is great! Go! Go! All the way to Death Mountain!" "Epona!" says a young girl as we now are focusing on a young girl shouting for Epona. "Huh, but she ran off again? Where can she be?" Good question. And here Link has approached Death Mountain. And as he rides on Epona, he hears rumbling going on with the rocks. "It's dangerous here," he says. "Do people really live here? It's so barren," says Link, as he is standing right on something right here. And it pops up, and it just pops right out. But as he does, Link falls off of him. Whoa! And now the Goron is on top of Link, as you can see here. "Hey, this is unusual, Goro. Oh, look! A visitor, Goro." Now off of Link. Now off of Link, he says, "This is where the Gorons live, Goro. It's dangerous for children here, Goro. Take me to your leader, Darunia. I want the spiritual stone of And he just gets smacked by another Goron. What the heck happened? How the heck did that just pop up? Now we meet Darunia. "What? The spiritual stone of fire?" can't be done. It holds the spirit of our people. You think we just give it to some little twerp? You don't want Ganondorf to rule Hyrule, do you? Link pleading his case. Darunia, hearing enough of this, put down, he says, punching through a rock wall, cracking right under his hand, just being easily punched by this hand, and he chomps on some rocks. Ugh, these taste terrible, he says, spitting out his rock. We Gorons are rock eaters. But the dragon that lives in Dodongo's cavern has been acting up, so we have to hunt for our favorite rocks. That doesn't leave time to deal with twerps like you, Goro. If you want the stone so badly, Link or whatever your name is, then show your courage by defeating the ancient Dragon King, Dodongo. Link then has another determined look on his face after Darunia says this. Mommy, I'm hungry, Goro. I need food, he says a little Goron crying. Mommy trying to comfort him as we get there. But as we still see this, as he still watches the mother and child, and a fellow Goron tells him the story. The, the, the child has hardly eaten anything for a month, Goro. Unless we do something, he'll die of hunger, Goro. Link, angrier now than ever. I'll do it. Lead me to the cavern. Oh, me? No way, Goro. Too scary, Goro. But you're dying of hunger anyway, he says, pleading his case. Now on his way to Dodongo's cavern. Now at the entrance of Dodongo's cavern, I should say. Right here. Are you really going in there, Goro? Five of my friends went in there searching for the stones because they couldn't stand the hunger. They never came out again, Goro. Link, still determined, goes into the cavern with the scared Goron following close behind him. Hold on a second. There you go. But Link, as they're walking, notices something on the ground. These things right here. If you know what they are, you know what they are. If you don't, you'll see what they are here in a moment. What's this? Link says. A famous product of Dodongo's cavern. Bomb flowers, Goro. Oh, they're flowers? Says Link. And as he plucks the leaves, there's a and then kaboom! If you pluck them, they explode, Goro, says the Goron after the fact. You could have told me that sooner. You could have told me that sooner, says Link, his face all black from the explosion. Shoot 'em. Those footsteps, says the Goron, as he and Link have a bit of a scared look on their faces. Yikes, I'm out of here, Goro, says the Goron, running away from the cavern. Careful! Then he meets the most terrifying thing you probably will see in this manga. One of the most terrifying things in this manga. It's King Dodongo! I'm terrible at the growls. I'm terrible at the growls. Just think of like a kaiju monster's growl, and there you go. Link turns around to see it, It's huge, he says. And as King Dodongo starts destroying things. Run! Run for it! I can't do anything against something that big with a sword or slingshot. Hey! No, but Link turns around and notices something. Hey! He's pretty slow. And then he suddenly rolls into a ball and starts rolling. Because of course he had to say that, didn't you, Link? And as he rolls toward Link, he says, "He's fast! He's fast!" Running as even Epona is running away scared of this thing, of this creature. "There's no time to lie down," says Link, as Epona lies down in terror. And he has to lie down as well, but the thing rolls right past him. But then he crashes into a wall, and Link says, "I see. He's big, but he's not very bright." Nope, not even close. And as he unrolls himself and starts walking toward Link, "Okay, watch this," Link says. He notices the bomb flowers. He picks he picks one up and says, "Hey, you big salamander! Let's see how you like," and throws it. "A mouthful of this!" Throws it and it lands right into his mouth. He chomps on it and swallows it, and it explodes inside, and the bomb flower explodes inside of him. "Score!" says Link, yells Link, as he becomes nothing but he becomes nothing. Later, the Gorons are having a field day and have made their bellies full. "Mommy, this tastes great," says the little Goron. Meanwhile, Link and Darunia are taught. Link, ta- Link and Darunia speak again. To tell the truth, Ganondorf has been here already." Link's surprised. "Really?" "He offered to take us under his protection in exchange for the spiritual stone. But when we refused, he made Dodongo turn violent." Link looks at him as he says this. "You, on the other hand, you are a true man among men. Here, take this. It's a symbol of our gratitude and eternal friendship, Goro. The spiritual stone of fire. The Goron's ruby." As Link's thinking as he holds out his hands for the spiritual stone, for the second spiritual stone. Darunia lifts Link up on her shoulders. "From this day on, you are a brother to the Gorons. Hey everybody, hey everyone! Tonight we're having a celebration. I'm gonna dance." Darunia may not look it, but he loves to dance, Goro. And so look at this man's face right here. So Darunia dances as Link plays his music. But Link notices something. Huh? Where's that pony? Hey! But he shows up at this. He shows up toward this little girl. "Epona, where have you been?" As it neighs toward her. Chapter 5. Chapter 5 of 6. Inside Jabu Jabu's belly. something to drink real quick. Link. The first thing we see is a castle up in flames. The castle is burning, but it's not Hyrule Castle. He sees. Next, we see a little girl. I wonder where I am. And as she looks up to the person, and who that person is. Link. Link, says the Great Deku Tree. Link wakes up suddenly. Great Deku Tree! But as in the night sky, it was just a dream. It's now nighttime. But Link looks and says, the Kokiri Emerald, the Goron's Ruby, only one left. And if you played the game, you know exactly what's going to happen here. And on top of that, you know what interaction is going to happen between Link and the person that gives him the final stone. The final spiritual stone. Link has the picture and thinks about the Great Deku Tree's words. Link, I believe in you. Link now ready to go. Let's go, Navi! Let's get out there and find it! But then he hears a noise, and he stops dead in his tracks. What's the matter, Link? Asks Navi. I hear singing. Who could it be so late at night? And he approaches Lon Lon Ranch. It's coming from over there, says Link. A ranch? But it looks deserted, says Navi. It's gotta be a ghost. Let's get out of here! What does it say there? Even though you're a fairy, you're scared of ghosts, says Link. And then a whoosh. Boom! Uh-oh, what could have happened there, I wonder? Navi. Navi, after hearing the noise. There it is! No! Run, Link, run! And then Navi turns around. Huh? It's Epona! Epona has returned. You! The pony from before! So is this a horse ranch? And the horse is, even though the horse had to deal with something involving Gorons and Death Mountain and King Dodongo, he is very happy to see Link. Epona is very happy to see Link. Who are you? Says a voice. But because it's dark, Link doesn't know who or what's saying it. So both he and Navi kind of freak out a little bit. But it's the little girl. And Link looks right at her. Hooray! It's been a long time since we had a visitor. Welcome to Lon Lon Ranch. Where have you come from? You have a fairy. You must be from the forest, asks the little girl. Come with me. We didn't come to sightsee, says Link. Everyone's a night owl around here. Well, everyone but Dad. Hey, it's the guy who gave Link milk, says Navi. Father, what are you doing? We've got visitors. Father, what? I'm awake. And he goes right back to sleep. Yeah, he's like, what? I'm awake. And then he just goes right back to sleep. He's like, what? I'm a... That's funny. You woke Talon up just in time for his nap. Honestly, if it wasn't for me, you'd nothing be get done around here. We should rename this place Ingo Ranch. Go right, Ingo. You really do need a kick. You really do. Wait, hold on. Let me do that again. I love that voice, though. You're right, Ingo. You really do keep this place running. I'm in a hurry. I'm on a quest to find the spiritual stone of water. Here, drink some of this. This girl says, holding a bottle of Lon milk, with a smile on her face. And look at that smile, cute smile. Yeah, thanks. He says, I'm Malin. Epona loves singing the music, and so she sings, and he plays the ocarina. That must be why she came when you played the ocarina. And so says Navi. Navi says that, not Malin or anybody. This, and then she says, this is Epona's song. And they proceed to sing the song while Link plays the song on his ocarina. Yep. Malin's sitting on the gate on the fence. Whew. Ranch life is nothing but hard, lonely work. I'm so tired. Where's your mother, Malin? Link asks. She died when I was young, but I'm okay. Singing at night makes me feel much better. I guess that's how I am with this ocarina. Sometimes I pretend that a prince will come down from beyond the moon and take me away. Do you have a dream, Link? She says. She asks Link, I should say. A dream? Yeah, I guess so, says Link. Learn about the world. Learn about the world. And grow big. He says the Great Deku Tree, and Link said, my dream is to see the world. And then, in the distance, an owl appears. And because he's gotta be terrifying in the middle of the night, he pops up suddenly. All three, Malin, Link, and Navi, spooked by this. I can see you've grown quite strong, Link. Who are you? Says Link to the owl. How rude. My name is Kepora. I've known about you since you were a baby. The Great Deku Tree was an old friend of mine. Why am I doing... I feel like I'm doing this in like... If Charles Martinet was to voice Mario as an owl. That's what I'm getting at with this. This voice of Kepora Gabora. Because of... It sounds like an owl, but I'm also sounding like Charles Martinet when he plays as Mario when I do that voice. It's kind of cool, though. Oh, excuse me. Link says in surprise, the Great Deku Tree? Link, the spiritual stone of water is in Zora's domain. Huh? Link shows a bit of a surprised look on his face. Hoo! You should see the look on your face. If you want to know more, grab onto my feet and I'll take you there. Link with this determined look on his face to get that final spiritual stone in his possession. Yes, take me with you. He grabs onto the owl's leg, and it just flies up into the air. Link, are you going already? I'll be back, Malin, he says in response. Malin shouts back at him, You better come back. And the owl takes him away to Zora's domain. You better come back, huh? You're, you're, you're certainly popular with the ladies. This is the, yeah, and uh, and I'm gonna assume that's gonna be Navi saying that's the third pretty young girl you've what? Okay, this is the third pretty young girl. This is the third pretty young girl you've got. Quiet, shush, says Link. Quite popular with the ladies, huh? Hmm. I wonder. I wonder what gave it away. Jeez, I wonder what gave it away, right? And Navi is talking about the third pretty young girl he's got. In case you're wondering who she's talking about, she's talking about Saria being the first, Zelda being the second, and Malin being the third. Pretty soon he's gonna have a fourth one. If you play the games or read the manga, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Host of you of the world. It's really big. Everyone down there looks like little bugs. Guess we're all really smart. Guess we're all really small, aren't we? You may be small, but you got the power to change the world. Link, you may think that you left the forest because you wanted to, but the truth is, it was your destiny. What? And look at this. He lets go of the either the talon lets go of him or he lets go of the talons. Either way, he falls straight down. And he lands into a thing of water. Soon you'll learn the whole truth, says Gebora. Link wakes up. Where am I? And this is the first thing he sees. And he gets jump scared by this big kingfish. Yikes! How rude! You are standing before the King Zora. Indeed. And who are you, me boy? Is this the Zora's domain? Yeah, he says to himself. Navi saying, so pretty. Getting his composure. I'm Link. Princess Zelda told me the legend passed down through the royal family. King of the Zoras, please tell me how to find the spiritual stone of water. A messenger from the Hylian royal family? We are sorry, but we can't worry about that now. Our beautiful daughter, Princess Ruto, has been swallowed by Lord Jabu Jabu Zora. Lord Jabu Jabu, asks Navi in response. Lord Jabu Jabu is the Zora's guardian spirit. He lives in in the fountain. Your guardian spirit ain't the princess? Asks Navi, very surprised and probably disturbed by what just was told. Lord Jabu Jabu has been acting strange lately, ever since that Ganondorf guy came. Ganondorf came here too? Tell me what happened to the princess. She's probably still in Lord Jabu Jabu's belly, Zora. Even though tomorrow is the day she was to be married to our kingdom's most handsome man. Poor unlucky, beautiful Princess Ruto. King Zora, I will go inside Lord Jabu Jabu and rescue Princess Ruto. But I need your promise that if I succeed, you'll give me the spiritual stone of water. Done! It is a royal decree. Great! Let's go, Navi, he says, winking at his fairy. Wait! Take this weapon with you, Zora. It has been passed down through generations Dobon, in the Dobon family. It always returns to the thrower, Zora. It's sure to be helpful inside Lord Jabu Jabu. And yes, it is, actually. In the game, you do get this weapon in the game around the same time. This weapon is necessary to defeat the boss that is coming up shortly after you visit Zora's domain. I'm not going to say who it is in case there are people that have heard of the game but never played it or seen it. But I will say it is mandatory for the upcoming dungeon that you get involved in after you visit Zoro's domain, because just like in the game, you are tasked with rescuing Princess Ruto from your job is basically to get Princess Ruto out of Lord Jabu Jabu. But in order for you to do that, you have to face the boss of that quote unquote dungeon, because it really isn't a dungeon. You're literally on the inside of a creature. But whatever. And after that, you get the spiritual stone of water. Now, excuse me. Now, keep in mind that there was a deal struck between um, Link and King Zora. He did agree to giving Link the spiritual stone of water. This is important because of a later bit in this chapter. Getting back into the story. Link, Link with boomerang in hand, shouts behind him, "Thank you, King Zora!" Outside inside Zora's fountain, there is the King the Lord Jabu Jabu. Is this Lord Jabu Jabu? He's huge, says Link. He's certainly big enough to swallow a person whole, says Navi. Why would you say that to a little kid, Navi? You crazy? She could always say that to a kid. If this wasn't Link, maybe more Mito, he'd be terrified. Hey, Lord Jabu Jabu! Get back Princess Ruto! He says, whacking this creature with the boomerang. Literally whacking him. Doing that. Hey, stop that, Link, says Navi. He's a guardian spirit, so make an offering to him. Lord Jabu Jabu, please partake of this, he says, holding a fish. And Jabu Jabu's eyes just go wide. Like, he goes from like this to like, just like that. I'm guessing excitedly, Lord Jabu Jabu opens wide. Ah! Just a fish, says Link, screaming as Jabu Jabu inhales him into the mouth. And then once it all is said and done, Jabu Jabu has closed his mouth. Jeez. The very first thing that you see on this next page, if you're reading from right to left, which is how you should be reading these Japanese manga books. See, like, to put it in perspective, this is how it looks. Okay, it probably won't show. It doesn't show me. It shows me like it's mirrored, but either way, it looks like the opposite of a book. Let me show you something. Let me show you what I mean here. Let me find a good thing to look to use for this here. All right. Using this book for example. Yeah, it looks like this, but our regular books look like this, where it's read from left to right, but books like this are read from right to left. And you gotta read them in a particular way too, because if you don't, you're not gonna be reading this book. Because if you don't read it the right way, you're gonna get the moments mixed up, and that's not the best. That's not a good thing. That's why if you're gonna do what I'm doing with these manga books, you have to read them before you do this, so that way you know what happens, what happens when. Because if you're not careful, you're gonna be left wondering, what the heck? I'm confused now. How does this go again? Oh, okay. Now you know what I'm saying. So That's why I read this book off screen, so that way I knew when like what happens when. So that way I don't be like, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to happen, and and that kind of thing's only happened to me one time. Every other time I had to stop to look at the page is because the words were too damn small for me to read it. So, yeah. Anyway, inside Lord Jabu Jabu's mouth, this is what it looks. This is the very first thing you see. Hey, Princess Ruto, says Link. Spiritual stone. No, Princess Ruto. Then all of a sudden he hears the scream, and he says, "That way!" And he looks, and this is what he sees. That is Barnacle, I believe. Link, over there! And we see the Zora Princess Ruto, scared of what she is face to face with. And just before anything could happen to her, Link dives in and saves her. And then he skids to a complete stop. Are you Princess Ruto? I'm glad you're not hurt, says Link. And she proceeds to just slap him in the face. Peasant! She shouts. I am Ruto, Princess of the Zoras. And just who are you? She says. She says with anger. The king asked me to rescue you. My father? I don't need any help, she says again. Huh? Nabi says. What are you saying? Everyone's sick about you. Come on, let's get out of here. Lin says, trying to reason with her. No way, says Ruto. Why don't you get out of why don't you get out of here? Why don't you get out of here? She says and runs off. But Ling, noticing the danger still around her, watch out! He says, swiping a sword at a jellyfish-looking creature. Are you all right? Rats, says Link, all worn out. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Forrest, you skipped a scene. That's the second time that's happened. So yeah, he tells her to watch out, and he swipes at a jellyfish-looking monster. And then he gets electrocuted, with Navi shouting, "Those are flying electric jellyfish! If you hit them with your sword, you get a nasty shock!" Link, though, after the nasty shock, rats, are you alright? What do you say we get out of here? Ruto's still defiant. If you really want to, then go get that stone. I dropped it when Lord Jabu Jabu. I dropped it when Lord Jabu Jabu swallowed me. If you get it back for me, I'll come with you, Zora. She says to him, with this face on this man. Look at that. You got it, he says, running toward someone. Just a second, she says, stopping him in his tracks. You're not planning to leave me alone, are you? So instead of just leaving her by herself, she ought to have him carry her. Like so. Carrying me is a great honor. You should feel proud. But I can't use my hands. How am I supposed to get the stone? Says Link. Suddenly, a tentacle comes to get her. Ah! Oh no! Says Link, as he notices Ruto. You can just barely see it, but right there is captured by one of the tentacles. And an electric jellyfish just comes barreling right toward her. And she looks in horror. Time to try this thing. I hope it works, says Link. And he throws it right at a barnacle, forcing cutting off its tentacle limb, and and forcing it to drop Bruto to the ground. Got it, says Link. And now, says Link, ready to give the final blow, which he does. And after all is said and done, Link runs to Ruto. Princess Ruto! Navi going right to him. You did it, Link! But Ruto not feeling happy. What's the meaning of tossing me aside? Sorry. Here's your stone, says Link. Ruto, a little bit embarrassed, says, that was a little scary, Zora. But Link still smiles, knowing he did his job. The truth is, now we're gonna find out why she really did what she did. The truth is, I wasn't swallowed by Lord Jabu Jabu. I came here to hide. Why? Asks Link. My father, says Ruto. He arranged a marriage for me and never even asked what I thought. He prattles on about our cute princess this and our cute princess that. But I have my own feelings. I am not my father's doll, Zora. Link stares at her as she says this. It sounds like you've got a lot of trouble, says Link. But I'm envious. The great Deku Tree, who was like a father to me, was killed, and I can never see him again. You've got a father who's worried and waiting for you. Let's go back, he says with a smile. But Ruto blushes after what Link just said. Okay, but first I want to give you something special, Zora, she says, blushing. Huh? Says Link. This is the spiritual stone of water, the Zora Sapphire. It's a stone I'm supposed to give to my fiancée. It's sort of like an engagement ring, but I think I'll give it to you instead, she says, as Link holds to it as it approaches him. All right, says Link excitedly. I got all three spiritual stones. And as he runs back, be sure to come back, Zora, says Ruto, blushing. Link leaves the inside of what? Jabu Jabu. Jeez, there we go. By the way, Navi, what's an engagement ring? Link asks as they leave the area. Navi, speechless to speak, the answer. I already gave away the Zora Sapphire, Zora. And he is not, and the king was not having it. Even though he agreed initially to let him have the spiritual stone of water, he is all shocked because Ruto gave it to him. Even though by technical definition, he agreed to it. And Link knew he agreed to it, so even if he tried to back out of it, it would not have worked. He would still have had to give it to Link. I almost said Zelda for some reason. But anyway, we gotta hurry back to Princess Zelda, says Link. I did a great Deku Tree, Link thinks in his head. But then he comes to a complete stop as he sees Hyrule Castle in the distance burning down. Hyrule Castle is burning? Says Link says and asks in shock to himself. Chapter 6. The hero of time is born. We are on the final chapter of part 1. As we next see the castle in smoke, flames billowing up on it, we see an Hylian guard down on the ground with Stalfos, that's what they are called, approaching him. Ganondorf is staging a rebellion! It's a coup d'etat! Says the townspeople as they run away, but Link runs toward it. Link approaches the steps as we see two bodies on near or on the steps, looking to be the Hylian guards. Zelda? Link shouts. Zelda! He looks over and he sees two silhouettes. Ganondorf, you villain, says Impa, holding Princess Zelda. Ganondorf approaches them as he says, I put that king to sleep. Forever. Forever. Zelda is shocked to hear this. Zelda is shocked to hear this. As Link continues to try to make his way over to them. Ganondorf looks down on. Who is he even looking at? Okay. He looks down at Princess Zelda, saying, "Once I get my hands on the Triforce, I will be the king of Hyrule. Lo, I'll rule the entire world!" Impa is still holding Princess Zelda. "That will never happen," Zelda shouts at him. "The hero of time will appear to save Hyrule. I know it. He'll defeat you." Ganondorf a little surprised to hear this, but he maintains his composure. Your last hope. Allow me to crush it, crush that for you, princess, for you little princess, he says as he tries to crush her, but Impa jumps out of the way of the shot. "Seize the Ocarina of Time," says Ganondorf orders his men. "Aye," says the Stallforce. "The hero of time? Still, she clings to that old superstition," he thinks to himself. Impa, meanwhile, attempts to protect Zelda from the Stallforce, even splitting one clean in half vertically. Or is that horizontal? I don't know. It's horizontally, but still the damage is done. Zelda closes her eyes in fear, but then in her mind she hears Link shout, "Zelda! Link!" She shouts in response. "I'm coming!" says Link. As he runs down the steps, he runs into a Stalfos. "Get out of my way!" Link shouts at the creature. "Pipsqueak," says the Stalfos. "Just try to get by me. Just try." Link then goes right through him, cutting him to a good number of pieces. But it wasn't good enough, as the bones rattle and place and put him back into place. He laughing, saying, "I didn't feel a thing." And the Stalfos answers back to his attack, sending Link flying, burning his Deku shield. Link shocked. Link is left shocked as his shield burns and burns until there's nothing left. Meanwhile, Impa is still trying to escape the castle with Zelda. She's about to get. She gets on her horse as Link, just barely managing to see her being galloped away, shouting after her, "Zelda!" And while their galloping goes on, he can hear Zelda shouting back at him, "Link!" Link tries to run toward the horse, but to no avail. But Zelda still shouts for him, "Link! Impa, stop the horse!" says Zelda. "I can't. We'll be killed," Impa says back to her. All Zelda can do is just stare right at Link. But she throws something down, and it lands near Link. Again, if you played the game, you know exactly what it is. Yeah, we're almost done with this chapter. In this part of the book, Zelda looks on as the horse gallops as she and Impa gallop away on the horse. Link, seeing what she dropped, runs to it and picks it up. And after he does so, he looks in the direction that Zelda and Impa were galloping away on the horse. But then he turns around, and the sight of Ganondorf on his horse befalls him. Boy, hand over that now, says Ganondorf with authority. Link, though, just stares at him. And with his sword in hand, because his shield was long gone by way of the Stalfos' fire, he jumps at him. He jumps. But Ganondorf blocks it he blocks it with his fist, apparently. From what I'm seeing of that picture, he blocks it with his fist or something. I don't even know how he can block it with his fist. His fist must be made of metal or some. Anyway, Link keeps on trying desperately to damage him, but to no avail, as Ganondorf just swats him away like a little fly. What? Link lands hard on the ground from this. You've got guts to take me on, kid. Are you the boy I saw at Hyrule Castle? Are you a Kokiri? No, you couldn't be, says Ganondorf. What are you? Link shouts defiantly. I am a Kokiri. I was raised by the forest, but I was raised by the great Deku Tree. I'm Link, he shouts as he leaps again toward Ganondorf. But Ganondorf uses his dark magic and pushes Link away. Link shouting and Link screaming as this happens. And he once again lands on the ground, with Saria's ocarina falling out of his pocket. Link watches as Ganondorf grabs Saria's ocarina. And he even thinks this. That's Saria's ocarina. Ganondorf, thinking he's got the Ocarina of Time, just smirks, and gallops away on his horse, leaving Link in the rain. And he grabs some grass in anger. Link pleading to the Great Deku Tree. It's no use, Great Deku Tree. As small as I am, I'm no match for him at all. What should I do? Even though I found all the spiritual stones, he says, closing his eyes. He then remembers Zora's words to him. The entrance to the sacred realm is the Temple of Time. The key to open the door is the Ocarina of Time. Link opens his eyes after from the realization. Zelda left me the Ocarina of Time. Maybe we have to go to the Temple of Time. Link runs, and he approaches the Temple of Time. He who gathers the 3 spiritual stones must stand here and play the song of time. If he does, that song Zelda taught me. and he plays the song, and he plays Zelda's Lullaby. No, he plays the Song of Time. And as much as I would love to play the music involving these moments, I really can't because Nintendo would probably come at me for it. So, yeah. In any event, he plays the Song of Time, and the door of time opens up. Navi flies in before him and shouts, Link! That's it! Link Link looks at what Navi sees. I never know if Navi is supposed to be a boy or a girl fairy. I can never figure it out, but I'm pretty sure I'll probably find out in some way. The legendary blade! The Master Sword! Says Navi as we see the sight of the Master Sword. Link walks up to the pedestal of time, grabs onto the grabs onto the grabs onto the sword. If I have the sword, will I be able to defeat him? Link thinks to himself. And he lifts up the sword out of its pedestal of time. Yes, I am doing that. I'm not gonna go crazy, be like, the hilt of time, blah, blah, blah. These graphics are great. Hey, Nicole, how you doing tonight? These graphics are great. Well, that's the art style of these novels. I have, of these manga. And I do have the other books to this, like, that were involved in like, they have this, like, I got a, here, let me show it to you real quick. I know where I'm at. Let me, put this here like this. Let me show you. I think it'd be better if I show you than I don't. Than if I try to explain what it looks like. But, to put it simply, I got it from this. This is a paper treasure chest. Well, a box treasure chest, I guess you could say. That I got off of Amazon. Well, I got it off of Amazon. For some, I can't remember how much it was. But it was in there. And inside, you get this. You see, it comes with the Ocarina of Time book that you see me read, and all of these books. And yes, in case you're wondering, I will be reading all of them, but not right now, after this. They will be in its own time. But, my favorite part about this, it also, let me see if I can unfold it right. Come on, let me unfold it. Comes with a poster. And that's the idea. That is actually the idea of it. It's sturdy enough to protect all these books from what I'm seeing. So yeah, that's the whole thing with that. That's the whole thing with that book. Now we are actually almost done with the story, so let's get right back into this. Link is awesome. Yes, it is. Now, to answer your second question, how am I doing? I am doing well, currently. I will be going to bed here shortly after I do this live stream because I gotta work. Wait, what time is it anyway? I'm gonna be going to bed shortly after this because I do have to be at work in the morning, 10 a.m. to be exact, Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be going to bed here shortly after I read this book. But I will say, I will be reading this book tomorrow night for part 2. And if you guys are wanting to, and I'll be doing a poll on this tomorrow as well. But if you guys also want me to read the side stories to each part, because they both do have a side story, one for young Link and one for adult Link. So if you guys want to see that for its own part, that's cool. But if not, I got my other book here, literally right here in front of me that you guys can't see right now. Ready for. I already read it all the way through this my next book, and I'm ready. And I'm reading. And I'm currently reading the book that I'm getting ready for after this. But I also had another idea that I probably might ask that I'm going to ask about as well. But that's for another time. After I finish reading the third book, the second to next book that I got coming up with the next book right here beside me. If you guys want to see me, if you guys want me to reveal that real quick after the end, I can. But for now, let's finish the story. So as we left off, Link pulled out the Master Sword, and we see a bird's eye view shot of Link pulling out the Master Sword, and all of a sudden there's some flashing light. There's a light, as it says, as he thinks to himself, "What's going on? What's happening to me?" He hears laughter, and we see the face of Ganondorf. Ganondorf? Wait! Link, he hears a voice. Link, awaken our chosen hero. Hero? Has a hero arrived? Then we see the big reveal. First the gloves, then the tunic, then the hilt of the sword, if that's the right word for it. And this is the first thing that we see of adult Link. Link, surprised, looks at himself. What happened? Link, you're an adult, says Navi. You've grown up. Next we see this old man standing right here. My body is long gone, but in this chamber of sages I can talk with you. Calm down and look around, Link. Oh yeah, that's right. It goes like this, then we do that. But whatever. I've been doing that a few times this stream. What? It don't matter. And at this point, we're moving on. Calm down and look around, Link. My name is Raru. I'm one of the ancient sages who built the Temple of Time, and forged the path to the sacred realm. What in the world happened to me? I pulled the sword free and then nothing, says Link. The Master Sword is a sacred weapon that evil creatures cannot even touch. Only one who is worthy of being the hero of time can pull it from the pedestal. However, you were too young to be the hero of time, so you fell into a magical sleep for 7 years. 7 years? Asks Link, a bit surprised by that revelation. Well, very surprised by that revelation. In those 7 years, Ganondorf went through the door you opened and infiltrated the sacred realm. He seized the Triforce of Power. His evil magic now threatens all of Hyrule. However, hope yet remains. Lift the curses placed over the 5 temples and awaken the 5 sages. If the sages and the hero of time combine their strength, they can overcome Ganondorf's magic. Link, looking at himself still, thinks, I'm the hero of time? Wow, Link, says Navi. If the great Deku Tree could see you, he'd be amazed. The great Deku Tree knew your destiny, says Rauru. You'll probably have already noticed that you are not really a Kokiri. Royal Hylian blood flows through your veins, just like Princess Zelda. Long before Hyrule Kingdom was unified, and the fires of war, amid the fires of war, you were born to the house of a knight in service to the Hyrulean king. However, your father died in battle. Although she was mortally wounded, your mother took you, and desperately fled the burning palace into the forbidden woods before she passed away. And we even see a shot of her life, of what looks to be her lifeless body on the ground next to her baby, next to baby Link. The great Deku Tree saw the baby, and now it's basically saying he grew up from a baby to a toddler to youngling to a youngster. Sensing a destiny linked to the future of Hyrule, he took you in. He knew that someday you would leave the forest, but the great Deku Tree raised you long lovingly, like all the other Kokiri. I am a Hylian, says Link to him. I don't know if he's saying it to himself or to Rauru, but he is still saying it. From this day forward, you will face many trials, even more difficult than those you've already seen. That is your destiny. But do not fear. Link closes his eyes. I'm not afraid. I am an adult now, and I'm grown strong. Now I can face Ganondorf fairly. If this sword chose me, if I am fit to be a hero, I will fight. I will defeat Ganondorf. And this time, I will protect Zelda. Ocarina of Time. Child Arc End. And there you have the Ocarina of Time bonus story, The Skull and the Mask, Part 1 and 2. But like I said, I'm going to leave it up to you guys if you guys want me to read that. This whole thing. If not, it's more of an optional thing. It's not mandatory to the story, but if you guys want me to read that, that's up to you guys. But for now, I am going to go ahead and end the stream here. But I'm gonna be just like that type of person here, because why not? I'm just gonna show this one more time. For anybody I know this is gonna be live, and I know people are gonna be looking at the VOD if they wanted to. But I gotta show this again, because dude, this is the craziest thing you'll probably ever see in a manga involving Link and Zelda. Because she gives him a kiss on the cheek, man. We gotta keep, I gotta keep showing that sometimes. Come on. I'm gonna be showing that for a while. I mean, dude, look at that. Dude, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna basically take a picture of this and be like, I'm gonna post a picture of this moment happening right here. And I'm just gonna put hashtag LinkXZelda. Just to see how people react to that post. Because I know for a certain fact that at least one server that I'm in has a whole friendly debate going on. If it's not Link X Zelda for some people, it's Link X Mifa for others. It's always one or the other. There's no one else being like, oh, Link X Ruto, or Link X Malin, or Link X, like, I've heard, like, Link X, Midna. Hmm. Hmm. I just had a realization. If I could find this, that'd be nice. Hmm. Oh wait, it's right over here. Oh yeah, I'm about to do something crazy that you guys didn't think was going to happen. You remember that, yeah, I want to show something else to you guys. I want to be fair to everybody though, okay? So, as I've shown you, you got this moment right here with Link and Zelda. That's not the only thing that I noticed that happened between Link and another character. Because in this story, you got that happening. You guys are gonna be, oh, I can already see some people be like, why would you show this? You're spoiling the story, but why not? You know, we gotta be fair with everybody. Come on. And then, now you thought that was crazy. You think that was crazy? You're seeing two kisses on the cheek. One from Zelda, one from this other character that we just seen. What about this one? Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah, that happens. That literally happens in the story, but not in the game itself. Somebody really gonna be tripping out on that one. They gonna be like, well, it's part of the manga, so it's not canon. Who even said it was supposed to be canon? I'm just showing it just to mess with everybody. Alright. Okay, enough messing with people. It's too late for that. We're gonna go ahead and end the stream there, okay guys? So with the fact that I just showed literally 3 moments involving Link getting kissed by 3 people, 3 separate people, yeah, that just happened. Me just messing with people at this point. But still, either way, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Probably going to piss off a lot of people for showing those things off. But in any event, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Forrest Walpole, signing off. I hate when I gotta show my thumb, but whatever.